Welcome back. Far from politics and far from economy, we do have a very special guest, Marwa Saleh, an NLP practitioner, to speak with us about, as I said, a very important issue. Creativity. How to be creative and what are the criteria of a creative person. And also she had a very interesting book regarding our comfort zone. It seems that we are going to start with her about how to be creative in dealing with our surroundings, with the circumstances around us, despite the fact that mostly, or in the most of the times, we are out of our comfort zone regarding the stressors we have, regarding the tensions we are suffering, regarding the challenges every one of us is facing in every single little day. Marwa, hello. A very good morning to you first.
Good morning.
And congratulations. It seems that your book is very interesting. Dina,
thank you.
Dina, how's it?
Right. Life Outside Your Comfort Zone is one of your books. I think it's very helpful to every human being. Because are people born with comfort zones?
Not really. Comfort zones are not real. We just create them for ourselves. And a comfort zone is basically an imaginary thing that includes everything that we got used to do, or everything that became part of our routine. So it's not like you get born knowing that this is what you need to do and this is what you need to get away from. But as we grow and learn, and as we live in different cultures, we start grasping ideas, okay, which create sometimes limitations, which we call limiting beliefs, or things that can empower us. And at the end of the day, we create borders to ourselves, saying, I'm comfortable at home, or I'm comfortable around those people, and I'm comfortable, for example, around friends. So I say a comfort zone basically includes everything that you're comfortable with, or things that you got used to. So you might get used to going to work.
Get used to.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes.
Because it has nothing to be with our characteristics or our inborn characteristics in general.
Exactly.
But you would find Egyptians in a specific. A mom would say that, oh, her child, or her baby, to be accurate, since his very early years, oh, he looks like his dad. He is doing what exactly as his dad is doing. He'd like just to watch TV in specific times. For example, are these included into the so-called comfort zone? Or these are environmental circumstances we are used to?
But these are circumstances, but then they end up creating or shaping, for example, the comfort zone of the child. So the child grows up thinking, I look like dad, I do those things like my dad does, because his mother has been telling him or her so. So that creates or shapes a comfort zone whereby the child thinks, this is how I look like, this is how I should dress up, this is what I do. So it becomes his or her own comfort zone. And then it becomes, eventually as you grow, it becomes a little bit difficult to do certain things that are out of your comfort zone. Which you've learned and you've picked up as you've been growing as well. And putting ourselves inside our comfort zones is not healthy all the time, because at times you get challenged. At times you need to grow and develop in your career or in life, and you find that you're not comfortable doing that thing. This is what you've been brought up to do. For example, you know that you're either a doctor or you have to do that kind of job because your parents have told you so, or this is what you've learned to do. So change, if you're talking about creativity, comfort zones, and the fact that we're sometimes stuck around certain borders does not make us creative all the time. And that's what keeps us where we are. It doesn't help us grow and develop and achieve what we want, because we're limiting ourselves. We sometimes don't know all the powers that we have, because our brains have been formatted somehow in a certain way.
Actually, what you raised right now is very, very important. We're not in full recognition of the exact power of our brains that we possess. Some people possess capacities and talents and standards, but we are not in recognition of. There is a common problem between lots of people to get out of their comfort zone. Not because they are unable, not because they are stupid, not because they were not. Is it something that we should be trained to do, or is it something that is innate, or what? I mean, people, I know lots of people who cannot get out of their comfort zone, and that blocks lots of successes in their lives.
Yeah.
It even would block relationships.
Of course.
It would block lots of inspirations.
Yes.
So how can this happen? And what is the comfort zone? I mean, how can we get out of it, learn how to get out of it smoothly and effectively?
So I would say we don't really want to get out of it. We actually want to enlarge it. So we want to break the fears that we have. So people who are not willing to get out of their comfort zone, it's because all of us have different kinds of fears. So you either fear change, you fear trying something new, you fear getting into the unknown. So there are lots of fears. Each individual has different fears. And this is what blocks us from really getting out of our comfort zone or actually enlarging it. So in trainings and in classes, I tell people it's just the first step that makes it become easier. So when you decide, for example, that you're going to work on something that you're afraid of, okay? So for example, in training and in coaching, if someone is afraid of, has stage fear, so is afraid of doing presentations in work, at work. So if you push yourself and work on a presentation and prepare it very well and decide that you are going to go and present that presentation, for example, to the board of directors at your company, okay? And that's the first time you do that. You prepare, you work on it day and night, and then you go and present. So while presenting, what happens? You start communicating with people. So not only have you developed your presentation skills, but also your communication has improved. Maybe you get a chance to talk one-to-one with people, so you improve your people skills and get opportunities, a new opportunity while doing that. So in pushing yourself to do just one new thing, presentations, if be it small or big, you have developed other things. You've developed your communication, you got to know new people, so your zone enlarged and encompassed lots of other things that you haven't been working on. So it wasn't in your mind. What was in your mind was, I'm afraid of presentations.
And even your concepts are going to be different. Your self-confidence is going to be improved. I mean, some people are that much of perfectionists. So after the example you are giving us, what if I did something wrong? What if I pronounced a word not in a proper way?
Yeah,
nobody
it's
is
not
perfect.
The end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, and it's not a big deal.
Yes.
And whenever I am able to convey the message, that's it. But regarding people,
yes,
there is a very common word now used in relations, whether it's at work or in personal relations. The word is chemistry. Whenever there's chemistry, then I will find my comfort zone, even if I am seeing this guy or this lady for the very first time. For example, I do feel this chemistry between you and us, and between you and the camera, with this smile. Okay? But some others, they would be very good people. But
there's
this
no chemistry
is not found.
But you know what? We're challenged all the time. So you will never be comfortable with all people all the time. Okay. But since we live in a world with people, we don't deal with machines all the time. We deal with people, so we have to find the way with everyone. Okay. Of course, you cannot be comfortable with all the people around. But for example, if you're working in a job and you have a manager that you don't have much rapport with that manager, you don't have chemistry. Actually, most of the time that you don't have chemistry because probably you have different values, different thoughts, different ideas. So that's where sometimes friction happens. But then the challenge is you sometimes have to deal with people where you don't have chemistry with. So you just have to find a way.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And in that case, those people would be out of your comfort zone. It would be difficult for you to stretch your leg and get to them and try and work with them and try to manage your relationships with them. So sometimes you have choices, of course. You get to choose who you marry and stuff like that. Yeah. And you choose whether you continue or not, of course. But then in life, you don't always have choices. Yet what you have choices with is how you react to people, how you deal with situations. Okay, so if you don't choose your manager, you don't choose certain situations that you get, to, but you choose how you react to them.
Yeah.
So you can either look at the positive side or look at the negative side. You can find something positive to build on.
Yep.
Right. There is a question that is common among many people, which is how to bring our kids to be able to practice that particular skills you're talking about. But to start with, the common problem is that sometimes there is nothing wrong with you, but some people that you would sit and talk with or meet for the first time would perceive you in a different way, would see you in a totally different way that is totally the opposite of what you
really
are.
Yeah.
Why does that happen? I mean, if you are a kind person, if you are a creative, inspirational person, very intellectual, nice, good humor and everything, they don't see that. They see a totally different person.
Yeah.
Is it how you present yourself? Is it how you talk? I mean, what is it that would make people take the wrong image when they see you?
Okay. So it's a lot of things, but I think the main factor is basically your confidence and the way you talk about yourself and probably the way you present yourself in a way. But it's all about, if for example you're a creative person, but then all you do at work is show people the other angles that you have, maybe being monotonous, being stressed, so you don't show out your creativity. So what people would get is not your creativity, it's other talents or maybe other values that you have. But you're creative, this is what you want to sell. You probably haven't invested in selling that or in showing that value or that characteristic enough. Okay, and then you come and we usually get into a pattern of blaming other people. They don't see my value. I'm very creative, and they don't see that. And so I tell people in trainings all the time, it's all about you. You cannot change people. The only person you can work on and you can change is yourself.
Is there a psychic part of bringing up our children regarding this? I mean, to urge or to make our kids flexible enough to move from their comfort zone out of it and to return back without giving even the impression to people that they are not included into our comfort zone. I mean, is this a kind of being that flexible, or this is a kind of being that social, or this is a kind of being that knowing well how to deal with the surroundings? What?
Okay. So I've been asked a couple of days ago about coaching children, children who had certain issues or who had certain fears and stuff like that.
Or even normal children.
Or even normal children.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at that time my response was coach the parents.
Yes, first, at least.
Exactly, because usually if a child has an issue, it has been taken from the parents or from one of the parents. So if the parents resolve their issues, or if in that case they show that they themselves are flexible, they're pushing themselves beyond their limits and they're getting out of their comfort zones, they're reaching out, they're doing things differently, then this is what the kids see every day. So if every day they see you shouting, screaming, afraid, stressed because of your work, they would eventually absorb that, and this is what they would get, and this is what builds their character eventually. So instead of telling your children do this and that and this and that, we all actually fall into that trap at times, including myself.
Sure.
But I try as much as possible. Whenever I do that, I coach myself. So whenever I get stressed out and maybe scream at my kids, I sometimes say sorry. I'm sorry, I did that. It was wrong. Okay. So we're human beings. Yet the thing is, if you want your children to live healthily and learn to get out of their comfort zone, push them a little bit, but then the push has to come from inside. They have to know that they have to try things out themselves.
And to have the culture of apologizing, if you permit me.
Of course.
To say sorry.
Of course.
When it needs.
Yes.
Even to my kid.
Of course.
We are sorry, because we are out of time, unfortunately. But we enjoyed being with you, Mrs. Marwa Saleh, the NLP practitioner. Thank you very much for your input, and have a very good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And this is where we end this edition of the Practice Show. Many thanks to all of you. Nermeen Abdurrahman.
Thank you very much, Dina.
Keeping my company for the past 1 hour. My name is Dina Hussein, and this is a goodbye until we see you tomorrow. Bye.